Red Zone, your football fix every day at this time here on Shan and RJ, along with Cowboys insider Bobby Bell. We'll crosstalk with the KNC Masterpiece at 9:40. It'll be tough to top yesterday's crosstalk, as Tolo Eric just wrote me, wow, at 9:55. In the meantime, Cowboy morale, all-time low.
Yeah, this was something that was being kicked around over at Reddit, and I was a little resistant to it. What year did you get here?
1997.
1997, okay. And then, Sean, you got here 2010?
Yeah.
Okay. So
the answer is no.
I don't think the answer is that this could be an all-time low for either one of your times here. But somebody was asking on Reddit, they said, when was the last time the team vibes were this down? They said, genuinely can't think of a time where the fan vibes around the future of the team were this bad. Barring a complete 180 from the Joneses on their approach this offseason, it's pretty clear that there's little hope for this era of Cowboys teams to do anything meaningful in terms of success. And there were a couple other people on there who were like, yeah, this is about as bad as it's ever been. I don't know that I'm ever going to turn around. And I don't see how this compares even to last year. Like, literally, like, think about just under a year ago, when we were talking about Isner being here and Brian Schottenheimer getting hired. That was as bad as it. That was really bad. And then you showed up to training camp and a bunch of the seats were empty and people were just like, nope, not buying in, not about it. And a lot of the discussion on there was saying that no, this has definitely been worse. There's at least some optimism here. But I'm gonna actually go the opposite way of it. Not only do I not think fan morale is at an all-time low, I do think that most fans have some level of cautious optimism that they might get something different this offseason, whether that's founded or not.
Go ahead, Chop.
I mean, look, it's tell me how old you are without telling me how old you are in that Reddit post right there.
Yep.
Because, I mean, all you got to do is be 35 years old and you remember 2001.
2001, 2002 felt like this will never get better.
It felt like 7 years.
And remind us of what the era was.
I don't want to. It was 5-11, 5-11, 5-11. Let's see. Was Tony Banks a quarterback?
He was a quarterback up until training camp, and then he was surprise released, and they just thrust Quincy Carter into the job.
Chad Hutchison,
God, the worst. And that should be nice because apparently he's around the area and listens to the station. But still,
this
really
is
bad.
It's a ridiculous opinion. It's not even close.
I remember it was the Carolina Panthers were playing. It was John Isner's Carolina Panthers came to AT&T Stadium. That was the Antonio Bryant juggle catch on fourth down that he caught at Texas Stadium. That game, they had picked up. I'm not kidding. I think through the first 3.5 quarters, Dallas had 90 yards of offense and 2 first downs. In 2000, they went to Tennessee on Christmas night and started Anthony Wright and picked up for the entire game 70 yards. It was one of the worst offensive. You still go back. If you go through Pro Football Reference and look for some of the worst offensive performances in the history of the NFL, going back to even the 40s, that game against the Titans in 2000 with that team with Anthony Wright starting is one of the worst. I don't see how you can get any worse than that. But even, like I said, beyond that, I think there's optimism for a lot of people.
That wasn't the Hainsworth game, right?
No, that was not. That was 06.
You have a top offense. You have a horrific defense that is getting a new coordinator, which is exciting. You also should have money to spend. And if you're going to throw the Jerry thing out, I get it, that he's holding you hostage and captive. There's a little bit of hope that missing the playoffs in back-to-back years is going to make Jerry more desperate, and Brian Schottenheimer is going to make Jerry operate a little bit differently in terms of timing, casting the net, and all those things. So, no, I think, arrow would be pointing up versus down for the Cowboys right now with, hopefully a positive sentiment for Schottenheimer, even though we all basically gave him a C+ grade for his first season.
Obviously, you're kind of filling in details. There are things you wouldn't be able to know. Like there are things none of us would be able to know. But
and you feel good about your quarterback. You know, even in the last 4 years, I've gone back and forth and back and forth and back and forth over, what Dak Prescott is going to be.
I think that if you look at it, and I'm curious if you guys feel the same, but I think if you look at it, it appears to me that Brian Schottenheimer has claimed, maybe not been given, but has claimed more available influence over the Joneses than Mike McCarthy ever did. The McCarthy, I don't know that McCarthy always knew the power that he had if he would have just tapped into it. Like that he had influence there that he just didn't typically use. Schottenheimer seems like he's been willing to. I mean, the fact that Jerry sat here and didn't give us injury answers for an entire year, that felt like a Schottenheimer thing.
Yeah, but he didn't give us injuries last year either. They shut down the televising of the blue-white scrimmage for McCarthy.
Yeah.
I mean...
No, and that's the thing. I think when McCarthy wanted to, I think McCarthy thought he didn't have power, that if he would have just asked for something, he would have gotten it. A lot of times he assumed he couldn't get it.
I don't know if I've seen or heard enough evidence to suggest that Shoddy has, a significant difference in say. I hope he does. But I'm hoping that it's shown in this defensive coordinator process. But I don't have other proof or examples of it. Do you have anything else that you can think of?
I think just in general, the way that he's allowed Shoddy to operate and do a lot of the different things that he's wanted to do. Again, I think Mike had the same power. Mike never used it.
I know what you're saying, but give me another Shoddy example.
I think in general, the way that he's approached the entire practice schedule and the team and different things with hiring coaches, the fact that they hired as many college coaches last year as they did, the fact that other than Eberflus, they really just kind of like populated the thing with people they didn't even know. And the first several interviews they had, none of them were head coaches. None of them. And so they're interviewing Gannon. He's a former head coach, but it's set up to where he's doing a lot of things that are outside what has been the typical operating system of the Joneses.
What era are people pointing out?
Well, a lot of people are saying, the one thing, not a lot, but the one thing about that Campo era is that it was still so close to the title dynasty years. They didn't get as lost and hurt in it because it was like, all right,
we have our titles.
We have our titles.
Yeah.
Man, but you were bad and you had no picks because you traded him for a guy who was hurt. Like it was like the Anthony Davis trade. You're trading for Joey Galloway and you had nothing. That just felt hopeless until Parcells got here.
The star in the National Football League yesterday was Steve Bisciotti, Ravens owner. Live Golf signs Dustin Johnson a multi-year extension. Where's he been? Bisciotti also brought up Jerry when he was asked how much longer he wants to own and operate in Baltimore.
When I watch Jerry and Bob, I still love them to death. They've always been there for me. They were younger than I was when I met them and joined this league. How long am I going to? Because I kind of always said I'm not passing it down to the family. I made that decision 25 years ago. I don't think that's healthy for my family. I've seen families feud and ruin over these damn teams, and I was determined not to do it. But when I watch guys like Art Blank and Steve Ross and Jerry Jones, and Jerry talking about what part of his anatomy he would give up for a Super Bowl at 83 years old, I don't want to be there. I really don't. I want to win a couple Super Bowls and get the hell out. I'd love that to be in the next 10 years when I'm 75.
So that's Blank with his perspective. And then saying, Bisciotti talking about these things tearing families apart.
Yeah, and that's like, if my dad was like the owner, let me decide that's going to tear me apart. You know what I mean? Because you can never get in if he sells you can never get back in because the way the cost goes up and the value of these franchises go up, you're never gonna have enough money. You're already in. Let me sell it. Let me try it and sell it. That's how I would try to sell him on this thing.
Doesn't he have 2 Super Bowl titles already?
Yeah.
So did
Modell get the first?
Yeah,
Modell got it with Billick. I think.
Modell got. Oh, that's the worst. He did not. That guy did not deserve a title.
So even if it's the one. He's still talking about I'm not like that. I just want to win a couple more Super Bowls, and it's that's kind of a big ask. Say that you want 2 or 3 Super Bowls, and then you'll be 2 or 3 more, and then I'll be content. It's that's still the same thing that he's basically saying.
Well, no, he's saying he's not doing this past 75. That no matter what, he'll take the Super Bowls, but he's still going to get out.
Yeah, because he wants the couple, and then he's getting the hell out. But I wouldn't like that, bailing on that if I was his kid. Same thing like Choppy said, but. To me, they're all talking about the same. Jerry wants to hold on to this forever because he wants to pass it on to the kids. But he's got it.
But we don't know. It could be all set and everyone could be fine with their roles. We have no idea how Steven, Charlotte, and Jerry Jr. and everyone else and Shy and everyone down the road are going to feel with the roles that they are left with or assigned by whoever.
Yeah, they may not want it.
It may cause a war.
Could.
It may cause a fight.
Yep.
It may cause a battle.
Like Jerry could put whatever he wants into the decree. Like, okay, you're doing this job. You're doing. Well, once he passes away and they get into it, I mean, they could absolutely fight over who's doing what.
Yeah.
Someone's going to be the official mouthpiece to the league.
Right.
One of the 3 children.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, so does the person who's the mouthpiece, do they have ultimate control to...
What it comes down to is what you guys are saying is, no, give me the ability to try and then bail, where he's saying, no, I don't even want this presented as something that could break apart the family.
Because what happens if, God forbid, he passed away tomorrow, Shoddy? Now what? He hasn't sold the team. Someone's in charge of it. Right,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
They're going to benefit either way.
No, I know, but so then he wouldn't get his way in terms of being able to sell it first, is what I'm saying.
How old are his kids? Like, does he? I mean, I don't know. He could be one of these. I assume he has adult children, but he may be one of these guys who has 15-year-olds like Woody Johnson.
The top highlight of the day, though. Actually, let's play the other 2. Let's go with 6. This is the Mike Tomlin news breaking during the Ravens presser.
Mike Tomlin stepped down at Pittsburgh.
He did? Is it official?
That's what I keep hearing. So, is he a candidate here?
Holy Mike, wouldn't that be awesome? Only if John takes the Pittsburgh job.
So that's classic right there. That'd be amazing if they swap. It will never happen. And then the cold-blooded answer. No one, including this reporter, knew how to follow up after it was a great question that was asked.
If Tyler Loop makes that field goal, is John Harbaugh still here coaching this team?
For a week.
Bam!
Man.
I could have let it go on longer. Well, no, I couldn't have. It was the reporter. I think it did end with him just being like, okay, all right. And that's all I heard from it. For a week.
When you enunciate the final letter there, the week. Oh, that's a period at the end of a sentence.
Meanwhile, Choppy, Pat McAfee has his Tomlin replacement?
Yes, he does, and it is not. First of all, it's not going to happen because he's too old. Because the Steelers go young, right? But it is not going to make Bobby Belt happy.
I mean, good for Coach Tomlin. Now that he has all the options in the world, he's worked his ass off to get to this moment. Good for the Steelers. Good for the faithful Yinzers who obviously have a sense of optimism and hope about, okay, we got some change. Maybe we can go win it. And who do you hire next, D-Butt? I guess that's the question. With the model the Pittsburgh Steelers have, they're looking for a lot of consistency, which you would think maybe a younger coach. But Mike Vrabel goes back to New England. The reason why he does such a good job there is because he loves the place, has a history of that place. He's in the Ring of Honor of that place. Mike McCarthy was born and raised about 3 miles from the stadium, 4 miles from the stadium. He's available. He would obviously – he wanted the Pittsburgh Steelers to win a Super Bowl this year so his mom and his family could have a good time like the good old days back in the day. It's like, who is the right answer now for the Pittsburgh Steelers? I guess they have to find that out.
I can't wait for his crash whenever it comes. The McAfee crash.
You don't
where
like
he's
Pat?
No,
How do you
hell
not
no.
like Pat?
Because the dude has clearly
everybody
become.
loves Pat.
He's so sensitive. You love him because he said, "Oh, chop" at the gambling table.
Yeah, just ripped our vein.
But he's so overly sensitive to everything, and that dude plays to his favorites all the time. Like, he wants McCarthy to have the job because he's interviewed McCarthy all year and got Khalid and everything else.
The H&R?
No, that's the same. It's just like how he loved Aaron until he didn't love Aaron.
Yeah.
H&R.
That show is it's way too just overly nice for me.
It was great at one
That's
point.
for me.
It is. I think it's kind of evolved in a way that I don't like, and it's kind of outlasted its
I
usefulness.
think their ESPN viewership was up, and then I saw like a negative College Game Day poll. So
College Game Day fans, I think the poll was they didn't love McAfee.
Yeah.
The College Game Day fans.
Yeah.
I think they felt he was pushing Corso out. He also has completely taken over the show.
Push Corso. I mean,
well, no.
the wheelchair pushed Corso out.
But if you notice, like, he is the star of the show now. You know, and it's like it's been Herb Street, it's been Corso. I mean, he's the new kid on the block. He is the star.
Redzone.